Hi, I'm Lee Sloan from Resonate Church in Anchorage, Alaska, and I wanted to give you a few tips for the holiday season. Now, I know a lot of you get tips online, great tips about maybe how to make the most amazing turkey or how to craft the most amazing centerpiece, but these tips are not about those type of things today. I wanted to give you some tips on how to deal with maybe a little bit difficult people in your life. Not that any person in your family is difficult, but just in case you have a friend or loved one who has a difficult person in their life, maybe that person is you. I just wanted to give you some tips on what to do during the holidays because there can be a lot of intrepidation when it comes to meeting these people during the holiday season. So the first tip I have for you is know what you bring to the table. We need to know ourselves. We need to be confident in who we are because it's a lot easier for other people to take us down if we don't know who we are. It's a lot easier for us to get offended if we're not secure in our relationship with Jesus Christ and who He has made us to be. So, becoming unoffendable is knowing who you are, knowing that you are made in the image of God and that He has a unique design for you and that you actually bring something unique that no one else can bring. So be who you are. You don't need to be on your best behavior. You don't need to mask who you are with bad behavior either. Be that great person that God has created you to be and let it show, let it shine. Don't be afraid to be who you are, okay? So the second tip I have for you is know who other people are and that they bring something to the table. Before you go into this gathering, ask the Lord about each person in that room, and maybe He's going to reveal to you something special that you never saw in them before. You know, if you sat down to a turkey dinner and you're getting all ready and you looked around and you didn't see any cranberry sauce, that would be kind of devastating because what is Thanksgiving without cranberry sauce? But the cranberry sauce has such a different flavor from the meat, doesn't it? But it just brings out something very unique about the meat. And so if you don't take time to really try somebody who's different from you, especially the people that maybe seem to rub you the wrong way, if you don't take time to appreciate what's good about them, you may be missing a whole new experience of flavor and life that you could have in your life. So know who other people are and ask the Lord's opinion of them. The third tip that I have for you is this, and I'm going to set up with a little illustration. You would never sit down to a turkey dinner, grab that favorite part, that leg, and start gnawing on it and eating all that savory goodness and then getting down to the bone. You wouldn't just keep going and keep gnawing on that bone and trying to shove it in your mouth and eating all the little pieces, trying to grind them up and eat that bone, would you? And furthermore, if you got frustrated about eating that bone, you wouldn't pound your fist on the table and stomp off and say, I have had enough. This family needs to stop serving me bones. No, we would never do that. We would take the meat, the goodness, and we would leave the bone and throw it in the trash later. It would be no big deal. But a lot of times in our family, we have meat and we have bones. We have that good part of the relationship, the part that we enjoy, that we love, that's so sweet to us, that nourishes our souls. But then we have that part of the relationship that, maybe somebody tosses us a bone in conversation, like, why can't you be as good as your brother? Or maybe they say something in jest that it really hurts you inside. And instead of trying to eat that bone and trying to say, well, maybe I'm not as good as my brother, or, trying to ingest it, or maybe even just getting mad about it and storming off, all we need to do is leave the bone. And not to say that we don't have issues to work through with our family and to talk about, but we don't need to make it part of who we are. That's not going to satisfy us. But the meat will. Don't just leave that turkey on the table and not try it just because there's a bone in it. See what I'm saying? So the fourth tip I have for you today is BYOS. Bring your own salt. Now we know that the Lord asks us to be the salt of the earth. And what does the salt of the earth really mean? It's kind of interesting language there. But it really means to liven things up, bring flavor into something. We as believers should be making everything taste better, everything more enjoyable. And what salt does is it brings out the natural flavor of something. And so if you don't have a family that's very salty, maybe they don't even know how to give a compliment. Maybe you lived your life and it's a little awkward for you to bring salt, to bring life, to bless people, to bring goodness into a conversation. Even humor can do that. But just bring something good into the conversation. And if you've already prayed over these people and you've already asked the Lord what he thinks about you, it's going to be a lot easier to do. And when you're salting that conversation, everyone is going to be amazed at what a good time that they're having. So God bless you this season, and anytime you sit down with friends or family, you can use these tips. And if you do, let us know at resonateak.org. Thanks and God bless.